You made the White House a place that belongs to everybody. And a new generation sets its sights higher because it has you as a role model.
A new chapter in the Obama family unfolds today. We revisit a time of simplicity before life quietly changed. In a home of public success, small moments reshaped Michelle and Barack's bond. This video takes you behind the scenes, where shared glances and quiet words held deeper meaning. Life inside the Obama household wasn't always as polished as it seemed. Cameras captured speeches, picture-perfect moments, and effortless leadership. But behind closed doors, they were like any other family, facing subtle shifts only the closest could see.
As Michelle reminds me, our job is to prepare them not to need us. And both my daughters are wonderful people.
Listen closely as we uncover moments long unnoticed, revealing the untold side of a family admired by millions. Life in the limelight. The days in the White House were filled with official duties and everyday routines. Barack and Michelle worked hard to lead America, and every public event was perfectly organized. Yet at home, life was not as simple as it appeared to the outside world. Mornings began early, and the family gathered for breakfast and shared meals. They had conversations as any other family would have. Each member of the household smiled for the cameras, while privately, they dealt with personal problems that were rarely discussed openly. Behind the scenes of national leadership, daily routines back in the house were filled with a lot of pressure. Inside those walls, the weight of responsibility was felt every day. Every conversation revealed the constant demand they faced. For Barack, the duty to lead the country often clashed with the desire to be a father and a husband. Michelle, admired for her strength and grace, spent long hours balancing official duties with caring for her family. The public saw only the polished surface of their lives, but in the quiet corners of the home, doubts and worries found a place to linger. Malia, growing up in the glow of a famous family, quickly learned that things were not always as they appeared. She noticed that her parents often exchanged looks that carried meaning beyond said words. At family meals, when they sat together, a tension could sometimes be felt that suggested a deeper reality behind their public image. Malia observed some differences in the face shown to the world and the feelings shared at home. These concerns were rarely discussed by her parents. These observations taught her that life was more complicated than it seemed on the surface. There were days when laughter filled the house and days when silence reigned instead. Amid official photographs and grand speeches, private evenings showed the true nature of their lives. Small details like the way a hand would linger on a shoulder or the little murmurs showed that something was not right. It was a balance of duty and affection, of public expectation and private reality. Every day the family worked hard to keep the two worlds apart so that the hardships of home did not spill into the bright stage of public life. The beauty of the public image was built on countless unseen sacrifices. The careful coordination of appearances required that personal struggles remain hidden. Yet behind every smile and every congratulatory word lay the quiet pain of missed opportunities and long-forgotten dreams. In these moments, the family held on to each other tightly, finding strength in small acts of kindness and support. As the sun set over the White House, the bright lights of the public stage dimmed and the home returned to its private rhythm. In that transition, the reality of life in the limelight was made clear. The public saw a family united and strong, but only those inside knew of the silent struggles and moments that showed their true lives. The pressure of their roles and responsibilities weighed on them, but they faced it with great determination and a commitment to protect what was most precious, their bond as a family. Every moment in the White House told a story of its own. The balance between work and personal life was maintained with resilience. The Obamas cherished each private laugh, every word, and every shared moment that confirmed their silent, enduring love with steadfast hope. The grand halls of the White House may have echoed with laughter, but they also held whispers of unspoken truths. Those who walked past its corridors saw more than just a powerful family. They noticed the moments of quiet reflection, the pauses between conversations, the glances that held more meaning than words ever could. Inside their home. Behind the official image, the corridors of the White House held secrets that only those close to the family could sense. Quiet voices were heard in hallways and private rooms. They carried information that no public speech could reveal. In these moments, the weight of these words filled the air like a soft hum that never faded away. During the early years of the presidency, there were evenings when the house was filled with some stillness. Staff in close attendance would exchange looks, aware that each glance carried a secret. They witnessed moments when the family's laughter was replaced by deep contemplation. In these silent interactions, the true nature of the home was slowly coming into focus. It was as if every shadow and every silence spoke of dreams that never happened and hopes that were broken. The change was gradual, marked not by loud declarations, but by small, almost unnoticeable changes in how people acted. Over time, private dinners began to show a pattern of silent conversations and controlled faces. A whispered word here and a lingering silence suggested a growing distance that no one outside could have imagined. The hallways, once echoing with the sounds of daily life, now carried secrets that were not said out loud. During those moments, there happened to be an event that had well-known people invited. Jennifer Aniston, usually associated with the glamour of Hollywood, appeared in private gatherings at the residence. Her visit to the White House was not on the news, yet her presence did not go unnoticed by those who observed closely. On several occasions, assistants recall seeing her engage in conversation with Barack in corners away from the main events. Though nothing was publicly said about these meetings, the way eyes would look at her whenever she entered a room suggested that her presence was somewhat significant. Over time, these silent talks started to become part of the routine in the White House. Conversations in the staff room would often pause when her name was mentioned, and the tone of the discussions would shift as if the simple utterance of her name had changed the mood. The secret nature of these interactions made the household feel more strange. Each small detail and every look created a story known only to those who lived the daily routine behind closed doors. The air in the hallways grew heavier with the accumulation of these small, secretive moments. In private meetings, close assistants discussed changes in the house with a seriousness that contradicted the casual nature of public appearances. They spoke in quiet tones about the way certain conversations had taken on a weight that was difficult to ignore. There was no big drama, there were just talks that suggested a secret everyone could see, but no one could say it out loud. Amid this tension, the family continued its public duties with remarkable composure. However, those who were part of the inner circle could sense that something was different. The normal interactions that once seemed full of warmth now carried an undercurrent of caution. Every shared moment and every conversation in the hallways contributed to a growing sense of isolation, as if the walls themselves were keeping a secret. Even as the nation celebrated historic achievements and witnessed the grace of the first family on countless occasions, the private reality was far more complex. The silent talks in the hall, the glances exchanged in dimly lit rooms, and the words spoken in confidence all painted a picture of a house in quiet turmoil. It was hard to keep up with the demands of public life while dealing with personal problems that no one knew about. The voices in the hall were not raised in anger or despair, but they were soft like whispers carried on the wind. Yet each said word added to a secret everyone felt. The secret of Jennifer Aniston's involvement, coupled with the everyday strains of living under constant attention, became a silent story stuck in every corner of the home. In the late hours, the staff often spoke in low tones about the small signs that suggested hidden connections and the present tension. The mystery of Jennifer Aniston's occasional presence was discussed with discretion. As these whispers grew, they became an unintentional record of the private life behind the public image. The secret between us. As time passed, the hidden details of the house began to merge into a silent story of internal struggle. There were no intense confrontations or loud confessions, only the accumulation of small, telling moments. In the calm of the evening, small shifts in routine spoke louder than any public announcement. Each day, an untold secret grew between the familiar faces, a secret that was neither shouted nor acknowledged openly. At the heart of this story was the recurring appearance of Jennifer Aniston at private events. Her visits, wrapped in discretion, were marked by brief conversations with Barack Obama that left a trace of uncertainty. These encounters were not dramatic in the usual sense, but the way they unfolded left an imprint on those who were present. In the dimly lit rooms of the residence, the mention of her name created curiosity. The secret, like a quiet current, flowed through the family's days, affecting every shared moment. People close to him noticed that his smile would disappear when rumors started to spread among the staff. In private gatherings, the air would thicken with questions that were never said out loud. The family's routine, once marked by effortless harmony, began to show some disruptions in every passing moment. There were moments when the conversation paused as if time itself held its breath, and in those pauses the secret grew stronger. It was a secret not meant to harm, yet one that slowly changed the way everyone lived their daily lives. Malia, watching quietly from the background, felt the weight of the unsaid truths with every passing day. She remembered evenings when the dining room was filled with a heavy silence that spoke louder than words. Every shared glance and every gesture carried a message of a secret too deep to voice. In the rooms, rumors of the secret filled the space, lingering like a forgotten melody. Each moment added another layer to the silent bond that tied the family together. The secret was not spoken, yet connected in every quiet corner and every shared sigh. Day by day, the silent truth made its way into the hearts of all who lived within those walls. Amid the public achievements, this matter remained hidden from the public. Every day, the secret grew a little more. In the silence of their shared routine, the secret between them became an ever-present reality. Over the following years, the secret that had begun as a few rumored moments gradually became an integral part of the family's daily life. Malia observed that the once peaceful, regular family gatherings now carried feelings of tension. Conversations that had been light and carefree turned subdued, as if every word was chosen with the utmost care. In the background of official duties and public celebrations, private interactions took on a new meaning. Even in moments of joy, there was a feeling of doubt, a reminder of the hidden truth that remained unsaid. The secret was woven into every aspect of their lives, from the casual exchange of greetings in the morning to the intimate discussions held during the night. Friends and staff alike noticed the change, though no one dared address it openly. Instead, it grew silently, marking time with each passing day. It became a silent bond among those who knew, a bond that connected their shared experiences of unspoken pain and hidden truths. The presence of Jennifer Aniston, though rarely mentioned, was a continual reminder of the small shifts that had taken place. Every incident, every passing moment of contact contributed to a collection of memories that shaped this private chapter. In this way, the secret between them was not simply a matter of rumor, but a living part of their daily existence. It shaped their interactions, colored their emotions, and cast a shadow over even the brightest moments. This slow, relentless evolution of the secret left a permanent mark on the family. As time went on, the rumor became both a source of silent sorrow and a testament to the complexities of love and duty. For this reason, the silent secret endured as an invisible force, slowly transforming every ordinary moment into a demonstration of the complex connection between personal truth and public duty, leaving behind echoes of what was once unspoken with deep, lasting impact. And then the silence finally broke. It wasn't through a grand revelation or a dramatic confrontation. No, it was something far more powerful. It was in the soft but unwavering voice of someone who had lived through it all, who had observed every change, every fleeting glance, every unspoken word. Malia's voice. At last, the day came when Malia could no longer remain silent. The weight of hidden truths grew too much to bear in the stillness of the night. In a moment of clarity, she resolved to speak, to break the long-held silence that had affected her family's private world. With simple words and a composed voice, she began to recount the events that had been disclosed over the years, leaving behind the carefully crafted image of public life. Malia described the small changes that had taken root in the house, the small signals that had accumulated until they formed a noticeable pattern. She recalled the quiet dinners that grew increasingly somber, the quick looks exchanged between her parents that spoke of unconfronted sorrow. In her clear and simple language, she explained how Every shared moment and every conversation carried a hidden weight.
It's about loss and loneliness, and the ways that we find reconciliation from that in meetings with strangers.
There were times when a smile would waver, replaced by a brief moment of doubt that lingered in the air. She remembered one particular evening when the room was filled with an unusual silence. The dining table, usually a place of warmth and laughter, had turned into a silent witness to the family's untold pain. Her father's eyes, usually filled with lots of determination, now held a distant look, while her mother's gentle smile was infused with sadness. At that moment, the secret of their private struggles became almost perceptible. Entangled in the mood of the evening like an uninvited guest, Malia did not seek to assign blame or offer judgment. She simply wanted to share the truth as she had experienced it. Her voice, calm and measured, carried the weight of years spent observing and enduring the silent sorrow that had slowly crept into their lives. Every word was spoken with a sincerity that left no room for embellishment or exaggeration. It was a straightforward counting of events, each memory a piece of a puzzle that revealed the true nature of a family in turmoil. She spoke of moments when, despite the pressures of a high-profile life, the simplicity of a shared glance or a soft word of comfort was enough to momentarily lift the burden of secrecy. In her recollections, there was no room for dramatic outbursts or bitter regrets. There was only the truth of a life lived under constant observation. Her statement was a mix of small moments, a softly spoken conversation here, a lingering look there, that together painted a picture of some resilience. Her account reflected the raw reality of everyday life. It was not a story of sensational scandals, but rather a personal experience of the challenges that come with balancing public duty and private matters. Through her words, her parents could sense the deep love that persisted even amid growing distance and unsaid truths. Her statement was filled with raw honesty, touching on the vulnerabilities of a family long admired for its strength. In recounting these events, Malia provided details never before made public, mentioning specific evenings and the names of trusted assistants. Her words brought to life the silent spaces between public appearances and private reality, revealing the delicate interplay of emotions that defined her world. Finally, with a voice free from the shackles of silence, Malia shared her truth, allowing the hidden chapters of her family's story to emerge. In the days that followed, Malia continued to speak with a great determination that surprised even those closest to her. Her revelations were not filled with anger or bitterness, but with acceptance of the past and a decision to share what had been hidden for too long. She described the moments of doubt that had marked each passing day, from the silent dinners to the secretive glances that conveyed more than words ever could. Every detail, no matter how small, was recounted with a sincerity that touched the hearts of all who listened. Her account served not to cast judgment, but to illuminate the reality behind the public image, a reality that was complex and deeply human. In her straightforward statement, Malia reminded everyone that even in the most seemingly perfect lives, hidden truths can reside, shaping the course of relationships and altering everyday existence. Her calm and confident voice echoed in the memories of those who had witnessed the small changes, forever marking the day when silence was finally broken. With each word, she carved out a space for understanding, allowing the pain and enduring hope to coexist in a single, unforgettable story. Her heartfelt words connected deeply, bridging the gap between what was seen in public and the hidden emotions that influenced her family's inner world, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who heard her speak with great passion. Thank you for listening to this interesting story. The story shared here reveals the hidden truths of a family known for its public strength and private struggles. We hope this has given you a deeper understanding of the complexities behind the polished image. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the realities of remarkable lives. Your support means a great deal. Stay tuned for more insights as we continue to explore the human side of history.